Well, thanks for checking out my video. As always, I appreciate you taking the time. That little snippet that you just watched was just a part of a bit longer recording we have later on in this video, where I'm just sort of improvising over the chord progression. Yeah, the backing track. So before we get to that, well, I'm going to have chapters down in the description. So of course you can skip forward to whatever you need to or want to, but I'm going to talk just a little bit about music theory real quick because I think it's important. Well, it's always important. I do feel like a little bit of music theory can go a long ways towards improving our playing. But this chord progression is kind of weird because it's I guess technically it's D Mixolydian, but the chords D, C, and G, that's the 5, 4, and 1 out of G major, diatonic to G major. However, when you listen to this song, when you hear this backing track, you do not hear G. You hear D. And so the thing is, it's D Mixolydian. That C chord diatonically is not part of the D major scale. In D major, there's a C sharp, actually diminished, right before that's the 7 chord, right before it gets back up to the 1 chord. So there is no C major chord in the key of D major, and so some of D major doesn't actually sound right or make sense. In fact, that C sharp note just does not make sense. So anyway, it's really in D, and it sounds like it's in D. There's no question. So technically, you can use D major pentatonic and D minor pentatonic, and I think they both sound fantastic, and that's what I'm pretty much doing. Um, and what I'm going to do is I'll show you where I'm getting these licks that I do in that recording. So so again, D major pentatonic and D minor pentatonic, and then I also play. It's interesting, the G major scale. You can play the G major scale over this, but you want to like focus back to D. You don't want to focus on G. Like G is not your tonal center. D is. D as in David. So yeah, so I put a couple of links in the description that talk about Sweet Home Alabama and also Can't You See by Marshall Tucker. Both of those songs have the same kind of D Mixolydian thing going on. So if you want to read more about that, it's pretty interesting actually. I don't have a lot of expertise on modes, but this one is D Mixolydian. So here we go. So mostly for the major pentatonic, it's mostly from this shape, this chord, this A-shaped D chord, and here's your D. So one thing I do like right in the start of the improvising over the backing track is I hit the D. So out of this triad, 5, 1, 3, also a D, right? That's the 1. And then from this chord up here, this D, that's a D. So it's kind of odd, but I it sounds pretty good actually. So I'm just hitting the D in 3 different places. But anyway, back to this. So you got this D major uh, chord here, and so here's your 1, and we just kind of walk up like that. I guess you'll see a lot of lessons these days about diagonal pentatonics, and I think that's the kind of thing that they're mostly talking about. But I like to look at it like out of the chord shape, right? So from this chord shape, here's a D. Now, then we work our way up to here. And I have this triad. Whoa, this triad. Let's try. Very cool. So back to this D. So I play around with that a little bit, and I probably overdo that when you watch the recording. But it sounds good, man. So got this. And that, if you look at that, that's actually like moving you into this chord up here. And then that little hammer is, this is the 5, and the 1, I'm hammering on the 6. So I do that as well. And I also do it here. When you come up to this shape, you've got, this is 5 and a 1 as well. So that's a pretty cool hammer. And then I'm kind of walking down. And there's another place where you can play. So this is again, that weird C-shaped D chord. But anyway, here's your D triad. So same thing with this triad, 5, 1, 3. So here's your 5 and 1. We're hammering on that. So I do that. I do that a bit. And then what else do I do? For major, well, here, now you're getting into the D major scale. Here's the one you want to avoid right there. That's your C sharp. Do not play that one over any of the 3 chords. It does not sound right. I've hit it because I'm in a kind of in a habit of playing that, and so I had to train myself, discipline myself. Do not hit that note when you're playing this D Mixolydian. So let's see what else. But this sounds, this one sounds good. It's actually a D. It's actually a G note right here, and so it sounds great over the G chord. And also, if you look at this C chord right here, it's the 5 note in the C chord, right? So it's like it being the G, so it sounds good. Now, when you're on the D chord, this guy, it wants to resolve. It's like suspended. It's a 4. It's a sus4. But it sounds great, man. So it's a good note to choose. So we did all that, and then for the minor pentatonic, you're pretty much, I think I just stick into, well, let me back up. So with this major pentatonic, these are extensions, right? Here's the D chord. We could keep walking that down, right? So these are like extensions that could extend you further up the keyboard. That's funny. Further up the fretboard, and basically just keep on moving into new shapes, or different chord shapes. So when we get to the minor pentatonic, we do the same thing. See that extend? And then, whoops. See how we land? This is a D right here. That sounds good. So anyway, when I transition from major to minor pentatonic, and I've played this many times improvised over this backing track, and I've done it in a more smooth transition from major to minor. I think in the recording you're going to watch, it isn't as smooth as I would have preferred, but it's not a perfect performance. This is a lesson. So anyway, so yeah, I just kind of just hammer out the lots of minor pentatonic stuff, just pretty much in this box with a little with that extension. So let me see if I can demonstrate this, that G major scale. So yeah, we can play the G major scale, which, it's interesting. It has the exact same notes as D Mixolydian, not D major, by D Mixolydian because of that C rather than a C sharp. And see how it's so I did I forget exactly how I did it, but there was a way I was doing this, and it sort of reminded me of what was the song? A Peter Frampton song, but I can't remember quite off the top of my head the way I played it in this performance. But anyway, you'll see where I did that, and I think that is pretty much everything. That's where I'm getting these licks from. You know, the major here is really important, I think. Um, anyway, I hope this is really helpful. I hope you enjoy it and get something out of it. Here we go.